Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new reading vlog. So I wanted to film this update, or this intro I should say, because I start the new school year tomorrow and I probably won't film an intro during the week at all, so might as well do it now. So let's talk about some of the books I plan to read in this vlog. So I went to my library and I was looking for In the Company of Witches. I can't remember the author's name, but it's like a cozy mystery with like a witchy aspect to it, and they didn't have it. So I didn't want to go home empty-handed like I normally do from the library. So I decided to pick up The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I have never read this one, but I have read a few other Ruth Wares, and I tend to enjoy her like mystery thrillers. Plus I have the audiobook from my library as well, so I can follow along with this. All I know is that it's like got something to do with this inheritance, but the inheritance is like bestowed upon the main character by somebody that she has never met before, and so she's like a little bit down on her luck, and she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go see what this inheritance thing is all about. And then some freaky stuff starts happening. Sounds interesting. I want to check it out. I am also still currently doing my reread of Kingdom of Ash. I am only 275 pages in, so I have quite the chunk to go, but since I am annotating my reread of this, I really only want to read this when I'm at home because I don't want to have to take all my annotation supplies to work with me. But yeah, I know tomorrow I'm going to have some tasks to do where I can listen to an audiobook, so I'll be picking this up. I think I'm going to start it today though and get some of my genre blanket done because I think I have 4 rows to do in order to catch up to where I'm at now. So I'm going to start this today. And then I do think that I'm just going to get the audiobook for In the Company of Witches because I really want to read that one and it's like the perfect time of year to read it. It is officially fall. I also brought this to show you. I found the cutest fall snow globe, except it's not snow. It's bats. Isn't that cute? It like lights up and like does like this really creepy laugh, but I took the batteries out because I don't need that. But it's like a little scarecrow in there and little pumpkins are on the base. And I really like snow globes, so I thought it was too cute to pass up, so I got that. But yeah, basically that is going to be it for this intro. I just wanted to mention the books that I plan on reading so that when I pop in and I'm like, hey, I have an update about this book, you're not like, excuse me, you never mentioned that. So I'm probably gonna go sit down and start The Death of Mrs. Westaway now, and we're gonna see how that goes. Hopefully I like it. I do have like some other books I want to pick up, but I don't want to get too ambitious like setting a TBR for this vlog because who knows where my reading mood is going to take me. So for right now, I know that it's mystery. That's what I want, or like a little bit of a thriller. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Hello. All right. I'm sure this is a truly glamorous shot. I have just gotten ready for bed. My hair's still wet from my shower and it needs to stay in the towel for a little bit longer. But I wanted to give you an update. So I did start. Why was I just gonna call this When the Moon Hatched? The titles aren't even close. They're not anything similar. Genres completely opposite. I don't know. Anyways, I started The Death of Mrs. Westaway and I made it to page 89. So I just got like the very beginning part started, and the like little mini synopsis that I gave earlier is mostly correct, but there's one thing I wanted to mention. So it's about this inheritance, Mrs. Westaway's inheritance, and we are following the main character, Hal, who has never met Mrs. Westaway before, and she gets like notified that she's a part of this inheritance, and then like some creepy things start happening or whatever. But the thing that I didn't know and now do know is that Hal, the main character, is a Westaway, but she thinks that she's been mistaken for like one of the relatives of this Mrs. Westaway, and she's super down on her luck, but she's like, I'm still gonna go and try to kind of pretend that I'm this like lost relative or whatever that was notified about this inheritance, because she's like so certain that they've made some kind of mistake. And so she's like, oh, I really should just like tell them like, oh no, you've made a mistake, you've got the wrong person or whatever. But instead she decides, you know what, I really could use this money, and so I'm gonna go try to like con them, because she's like so certain that they've made a mistake. I'm not so certain that they've made a mistake, which it's not like that's like gonna be a big reveal, because it's like very heavily hinted at that somehow like she's the right person, but we don't know the circumstances of it, I guess. But yeah, she just arrived to this like big manor house. I can't remember, there's like a name for the house. It starts with a T. Oh, Trepeson house, Trepeson estate or whatever. She just arrived and she's trying to like play the part of like this relative, although some things are lining up, and yet she's still like, there must have been a mistake, I can't reveal too much kind of thing. So it's kind of like that element where she's like trying to pretend to fit in and understand what's going on, but also she kind of still does. We don't really know like what's the creepy aspect of it. I don't know. That's what I've gotten out of it so far. I am enjoying it so far. I mentioned in my last video that I really prefer the mystery side of thrillers over like the actual thriller part of it. And I know Ruth Ware writes like mainly thrillers. So I'm curious like when this is going to take a turn for the thrillery side, because as of right now it's like mostly just like a mystery. But it's still early days. I'm still very near the beginning. So I still like thrillers, but sometimes they have like an element of like really messed up people and really messed up dynamics and like some really messed up situations and stuff. And I'm not always in the mood for that kind of thing, but I do like the twists and like trying to figure out what's going on and getting answers. I like that part of thrillers, which is why I really like mysteries, because I like the collection of clues and putting together pieces of this like puzzle and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm rambling at this point, but I'm having a good time. I'm going to go continue getting ready for bed now because I have the first day of school tomorrow and I need to be prepared because my schedule changed from last year and I have 11 classes now instead of 9, and my morning is so packed. I have back-to-back classes, 8 classes in a row with no break in between. And when I say no break, like literally no break. Like I drop off one class at 10 o'clock, my next class is coming at 10 o'clock. Like I don't have a break. So it's gonna be really hectic. The first day is always crazy. So I'm just trying to like mentally prepare for it. I mean, I'm gonna get through the day no matter what. Hopefully things go smoothly. But after my last class ends, I still have just under an hour of like work time before I can leave. So I do have like tasks I need to do that don't involve a lot of like brain power, if that makes sense. So I can listen to an audiobook while I do those things. So that's probably when I'll listen to it tomorrow and on my like drive to work. So hopefully I can get like halfway tomorrow or by my next update. Maybe I'll even finish it by my next update. I don't really know. Anyways, again with the rambling, I need to stop and I need to go to bed. So that's all for this update. I'm gonna go. All right, it's been a few days and I wanted to update you about the death of Mrs. Westaway. I've made it quite a bit further. I'm on page, oh no, I made it to the end of this chapter. I'm on page 263. So I just have this little bit left. I think there's maybe 100 pages left. So I'm very excited to see what the climax of the story is going to be, because it's been kind of like a slow build mystery. I haven't been bored at all while reading this, but yeah, it's like a little bit slower and not super thrillery. Like, I guess not what I would have expected from a thriller author, but I'm definitely intrigued and I definitely want to find out what is going on and like what the big reveal is going to be. I'm having a good time with it. Oh, the main character also is a tarot reader, and I really like how she talks about tarot, because she's like, I don't really believe in tarot. I don't think it has any kind of like magic to it. I don't think it can tell the future or is like any kind of like fortune telling thing, but I do think that it's a good tool to make people think about certain situations and stuff. And so she like uses tarot and like draws the cards and like explains the meaning of the cards to help people relate like the things that they're going through and kind of help them process it a bit more, I guess. But she's like, yeah, I don't think it's like some like mystical thing, which I thought was really interesting, because a lot of the times it's like if tarot is in a book, it's like it's almost like there's a magical element to it. And I really like tarot cards. I actually have a few decks of my own. Let me grab them. So I have this deck that my friend Maggie got for me, and it is a Lord of the Rings tarot deck. So it has the guide, which like you fold out and it tells you about the different cards and like what their meanings are and stuff, the different like major and minor arcana, and then the art on it is so cute. I love this art, and like the back of it is so cute. But yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings style art and stuff. I just think it's really cute. And then the other deck that I have is like a moon, like silvery one. It also comes with a little like guide book, which I have flipped through because I have tried to like understand tarot, which I still really don't, and like just understand like what the different cards mean and stuff, because it comes up in books a lot, especially like fantasy books or like magical realism books. It'll come up where she's like, oh, I did a drawing and I drew this card, and it's like some random card that I'm like, I don't know the meaning of that, and I want to know like the symbolism of that card being drawn and stuff. But yeah, this one is like a matte black with like a really good silver foil. Oh, I'm not even hardly showing. I just think it's really pretty. Like, I just think that's so cool. But yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to tarot cards, and I don't know how to do any tarot spreads or interpret the cards' meanings. Like if you just drew like the Six of Cups, I have no idea what that even means. So I think it would be interesting to know that stuff, just because, again, like I said, it comes up in books often, and I just think like, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. So I just like when it comes up in The Death of Mrs. Westaway, I just like how Hal talks about it. And like when she's like does readings and she's like, they want to have answers and they want to like be told what's going to happen in the future, and she's like, tarot is not like that. It's just like helping you understand possible outcomes and like your thought process behind it. I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. So anyways, I am really excited to finish that book and find out how it ends, but I don't think I'll be able to finish it tonight. I'll probably finish it sometime tomorrow, so I can update you on my final thoughts on that then. But I do have a couple packages to unbox. This looks like the book I ordered, so let's open that one first. Yay! So this is In the Company of Witches by Arlie Wallace. So this is probably the next book that I'm gonna read in this vlog. It seems very witchy, obviously, but like there's like this big mansion and somebody like eerily standing up there. I know it has to do with like a bed and breakfast. It says at the top, when a guest dies in the B&B she helps her aunts run, a young witch must rely on some good old-fashioned investigating to clear her aunt's name in this magical and charming new cozy mystery. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I really hope that I like it, because I don't know, I just am nervous about cozy mysteries, because I've had some books that I've really not liked where people are like, oh yeah, you just don't like cozy mysteries. And then I've had some books that I've really enjoyed where they're like, oh, cozy mysteries, you should check out these ones. So I'm curious to see what this one is about. I know Katie from Katie is Reading just read this one and really loved it, so I'm hoping that I also really love it, and I think this cover is adorable. So I'm very excited to get to that one. All right, on to the next package. So the first thing is this Happy Planner sticker book that is Woodland Seasons Christmas. And I just really liked the style of some of this art. Like, I really like these stickers. And then there's some pages where there's like no writing or anything on them. It's just the art. And I just think this is such cute art. I really like it. With the little fox, the little tree, and the little deer. I just think it's so cute. So yeah, and it was like on sale, so it was a good price. And then what's the other thing in here? Oh, this is a candle wick trimmer. It looks like some kind of like medieval like torture device, honestly, but it's literally just to trim the wicks of your candles. That's why it's like shaped downward, so if you need to go down into a jar, you can trim the wicks of your candles. I've never had one before, and I feel like I really need to use one, because like if you don't trim the wicks, the flame can get really big, like alarmingly big, or it can like pop and crackle and like send sparks around, and I'm like, I don't want to set my house on fire with a simple candle, so candlewick trimmer. So yeah, that is my little mini haul and update about the death of Mrs. Westaway. So that's it for this update. I will check back in probably tomorrow when I finish the book. Okay, it is the next day now, and I did finish The Death of Mrs. Westaway, and I really enjoyed this one. This one I just really got into. It's definitely more of a mystery than it is a thriller. Like, I don't even know if I would classify this as a thriller. I would just call this a mystery. But yeah, the like last 100 pages or so, everything was like coming out, and there were these big reveals, and the big climax was happening. And yeah, I just really liked how it all came together. It is like slightly predictable, but not like in a super obvious way, I guess. Like, there was one thing where I was like, I kind of predicted it, but not like the reason behind it. So I just really enjoyed this one. So I would definitely recommend it. And I think that like fall winter is a good time to read this one because it's a little bit spooky with this like big creepy manor house, but the weather is getting cooler, so I would recommend picking this up this season, like this fall season or this winter, if you haven't read this one and you want like a good mystery that's about an inheritance at this big creepy house, because I really like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. And then the next book that I'm gonna pick up is In the Company of Witches. So I don't know if I'll start this tonight or tomorrow, but this is the next book I'm gonna read. All right, hello everyone. It is Sunday now, and I have a reading update for you. So I read the first 6 chapters of In the Company of Witches. I'm on page 57 now, and so far I'm really liking it. It's set at this B&B that's run by witches. It's a witch and her 2 aunts, which I love that when a witch lives with their aunts. I feel like that's a common thing in like witchy books or like witchy movies and stuff. Like, I'm thinking of Practical Magic with their 2 aunts. Like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch too was like a witch, and then her 2 aunts, her 2 witchy aunts. So maybe those are like the only things that I'm thinking of because they're very popular, but I really like that in a witchy book. But yeah, it's set at this B&B, and one of the guests dies, and they suspect one of the aunts. And so the like younger niece witch, her name is Bryn. Yeah, Bryn. She is trying to like clear her aunt's name, and she is what they call a witch of the dead, so she can like see and talk to ghosts, but she hasn't used her like power in a very long time, and so she's kind of like nervous to even use it at all. But I think that's going to be part of like how she solves the guest's death. So I'm still at the very beginning. It's set in this small town called Evenfall, and it is kind of like a quirky small town, which we love to see in a fall witchy book. So far I'm really liking it. There's a pet crow that they have named Dog, who is like very intelligent. Like crows in general are very intelligent, but like it's almost like he can understand what you're saying, and he like gives them like quizzical looks and stuff like that, and I just really like that. So yeah, so far it's like the perfect atmosphere for me and I'm really enjoying it, and I do really like the writing, so I am excited to read more of this because I'm not very far in. So I'm gonna read more of this today. I also need to plan my next week in my planner, so I think I'm gonna go with like a mushroom theme because I have a lot of mushroom stickers and washi tapes, so I think that's the theme I'm gonna go with, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, other than that, I went to a wedding yesterday, so that was pretty fun, and I've just been doing like a couple chores and stuff today, but hopefully I have time to sit down and read. I want to get maybe at least like halfway through today. I think I can do that. It is nice and chilly out today. I think it's like a high of 60 today. Oh, it's a little warmer right now. It's 67. Yesterday when we went to the wedding, it was perfect. It was like 58 degrees in the middle of the day, but it was still like sunny. So, and there was a breeze. It just like really felt like a fall day. But yeah, today it's like cooler. Not cool enough for my tastes. I want it to be in the like 50s for me to be completely content, but I was pretty like chilly this morning, and so I got to wear my first sweater of the season, and I'm just so happy about that because it just means that the cooler weather is coming, even though next week for me is supposed to be in the 80s every day and sunny, so very summer weather. But I'm just gonna ignore that fact, and I'm gonna focus on fall things. That's gonna be it for this update. I just wanted to check in that I started in the Company of Witches, and I might check in midway through and like see how I'm doing at the halfway point, but I need to go plan in my planner and then I'll get to reading. is Monday night now, and I wanted to check in that I did finish In the Company of Witches by R.L. Wallace, and I ended up really enjoying this one. I mean, I was liking it from like really the first chapter, but the vibes kept up and the atmosphere was really good. I really liked the small town, like everybody kind of knows everybody, everybody's in everybody's business. A lot of the townspeople have families that have been there for generations, and so like everybody really knows everybody, and so to have this mystery going on with one of their own, everybody's speculating about things and these rumors are spreading and like gossip is coming out and stuff like that. I liked that aspect. And then of course all of the witchy things in this book were spot on. Like if you like the magic from Practical Magic, or honestly like Halloween Town, like the way that the Cromwells do magic, it's kind of like that, but the town doesn't really know that they're witches. I mean, I feel like they know, I mean, they all know that they're like the Warren women, like there's something different about them, but they don't like know for sure. And like all of the Warren women, like the main character and her two aunts, they never practice magic in a super observable way for the townspeople, so it's kind of like the townspeople are really just like speculating kind of thing. I really liked the magic and like the spells and how they worked and all of that stuff. I really liked that aspect of it. The main character being able to like talk to ghosts, she has been struggling with her magic at the beginning of this book. She hasn't used magic in a while, and it takes her a good long bit to kind of like want to use her powers again. So we don't see a ton of the main character using her powers until probably the last like third of the book, I would say. But there's still like plenty of magic to it. But I'm thinking in the second book, that's called When the Crow's Away, her power will be like more important and like more utilized. But yeah, I liked the mystery of it. I liked how it all went down and how, again, like all the gossip and rumors like kind of led the main character to finding clues and stuff, and basically how it all wrapped up. I didn't like predict it at all. I wasn't trying to predict it, but I didn't think that it was like super predictable or anything, which is kind of what you want in a mystery. It's less fun to solve the mystery on your own than it is to like be shocked by the big reveal. Kind of happy that I didn't find this to be predictable. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I will be reading the second book in this series. I think that that's it though. I think the author said she's not going to continue the series, but I do know she does have another book coming out next year. I don't know the name of it or anything, but I think it's like a witchy book with vampires in it. So I don't know if it's a cozy mystery or anything, but I do know it's going to be witchy. So I'm going to keep my eye on that because I did enjoy her writing. So now what to read next. I really enjoyed the witchiness of In the Company of Witches. So I think the next book I'm going to start is called Truly, Madly, Magically by Hazel Beck, I think. This was one of the August ALCs from Libro FM. So it's like an advanced listening copy. I think that's what that stands for. So I have the audiobook for this that I got from Libro FM, and I don't have the physical book, nor do I think I'm going to get the Kindle version for it unless I'm like absolutely loving it. But I think I'm just going to listen to the audio for this one. But all I really know about this one first, that it's witchy. And it's the main character is like a witch who was cursed to tell the truth. And there's some kind of like evil coven who's trying to take down her town's coven. I guess I'm not really 100% sure. I did read the synopsis of it and I was like, oh, I'm definitely adding that one when it came up, but I've just kind of forgotten what it is. So I'm going to start that one. I think it has a second chance romance in it, but mostly I just want the like witchy atmosphere still to keep going because I really enjoyed that in this book. So that's the next book that I'm going to pick up, and I'll give you a better synopsis of what it is once I get a little bit further into it and tell you how I'm liking it. But the cover, slay. So hopefully that means the inside is going to be good. Okay, it's the next day now, and I'm about a quarter of the way through Truly, Madly, Magically by Hazel Beck. So I figured I'd give a better synopsis than what I did yesterday, and kind of tell you what my thoughts are. So I don't even know what I said yesterday, but basically this book is, It's the third book in a series. It's called the Witch Lore series, which I didn't know going into it, but I really should have, because there was so many signs. Like, it literally says on Goodreads Witch Lore number 3, and I don't know, I just blocked that fact out or something. But yeah, it's the third book. Technically, you can read each book as a standalone, but I will say I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Like, yes, you can read them as standalones, but I am like slightly lost with this one. So this one is following Elwyn and Xander, and they have this like kind of like hate you but not really relationship, that they've been together in the past. They were like high school sweethearts kind of, and then they broke up, and now it's like they basically hate each other and they bicker all the time. But once a year they like give in to their passionate desires and like get together again, and then they hate each other for the rest of the year. So it's like a second chance romance, because they were real hot and heavy in high school, and now they just like can't seem to quit each other basically. And Elwyn is a half witch, Xander is a full witch, and like all of their friends are full witches. And Elwyn has always kind of felt like lesser than all of her friends, like her whole coven and everything, just because she's half human. But we find out in the like first chapter basically that Elwyn is pregnant with Xander's child. And now these like evil witches are for some reason targeting her. I'm guessing it has to do with like her unborn child. But yeah, they're targeting her now. And so like her coven, her like friends are trying to figure out how to overthrow this like evil coven of witches that is like has it out for them. Basically, that is the plot of the book, plus the second chance romance between Elwyn and Xander. So at the very beginning of the book, I was like super annoyed with Elwyn. I don't know, just like the way she is. But I decided to just keep listening, and the witchy vibes in the book are great, because there's already been like something like a seance basically. There's like ghosts involved and spirits involved and stuff, and yeah, like witchy stuff is going down. What I also really like is that Elwyn has an owl familiar that she can like communicate with. I don't know if it's like mind to mind or if the owl like literally speaks, because it's the audiobook, so I don't know if it's like actual dialogue between the two of them, but I really like that aspect of it too. Like that part's pretty fun. But like I was saying earlier, you can tell that it's the third book in a series where you probably should have read the first and second book, even though it says you can read it as a standalone and it's like trying to catch you up on the pertinent information. I have like very little background about the side characters who are extremely present. I just think it would be more helpful to understand them and their interactions if I had read the first two books, which I'm regretting a little bit going into this book. Even though it says you can read them as standalones, I just wouldn't recommend it, because I just feel really disconnected from a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, because it's stuff that happened in the previous books. It doesn't, in my opinion, do a great job of like recapping that for you so that you can read it as a standalone. Because there's some things where I'm like this evil coven of witches, they're called the Joywood Coven. They have been present in the past two books, and so like they're just like throwing you into it and kind of, you should know all these things already, but if you don't, these guys suck kind of thing. Like, okay, what's the history with that? What's been going on with that? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it's my own fault for starting on the third book, even though it says that they can be read as standalones. I just feel like this is not the case. But despite all that, I'm still having a good time. I'm still fine with it, you know? Mostly I'm interested in seeing more of Elwyn being a half witch and like how she deals with like the struggle of feeling inferior, and like what these evil witches, the Joywood Coven, like what they're really after and why they're targeting Elwyn specifically, and like finding all that stuff. Plus I really like the magic aspect of it. That is done really well. So I'm gonna continue reading, and I hope I keep enjoying it for the most part. So yeah, that's the update for Truly Madly Magically. I will probably check in once I get a little bit further, see how I'm feeling, like the midway, 2/3 of the way point. Yeah, we'll go from there. So, but that's where I'm at right now. that look like a bat?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
it
good.
It really does.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect by the moon.
It kind of looks like a flying mustache.
No, it doesn't. It looks like a bat.
Alright, hello everyone. It is now Saturday. I had a really good Friday the 13th because Brandon and I watched Sleepy Hollow, which I haven't seen since I think I was in like middle school. That was one of my very first like horror movies ever. So I didn't remember like a ton about it. I've never read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, but now I kind of want to. But the like atmosphere in that movie is very October, like very Halloween. There's pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns everywhere, and it's like foggy, leaves are on the ground, and like creepy stuff is happening. So if you haven't watched that one, it's like pretty cheesy, like some gratuitous like violence and gore, but I really enjoyed it. It just like gave me what I wanted from like a spooky Friday the 13th movie, because I don't like anything really too scary. Like I don't mind if it's like a little bit creepy, but I will have nightmares if it's pretty scary. So I had fun with that. And then today I went by my mom and we got this idea last year online somewhere. Like this was not our like original idea, but people were taking these paintings or like pictures of houses or like random landscape pictures and then like adding things to it to make it more like Halloween or more autumnal. So we found these pictures last year sometime. I think it was like late October or early November, and we said, oh, we'll just save them for next year. And so we were adding like little stuff to it, and I had so much fun. I love how mine turned out, and my mom's turned out so well, and they just look so good. So I would also highly recommend trying that out if you haven't, because it was really, really fun. We thrifted both of those pictures. I think we got both of them from Goodwill, so it was pretty awesome to find those, especially the one that I was painting, because it already kind of had like a creepy feel to it with like the bare trees and the moon out, and like it was like kind of dark and stuff. But yeah, it was really fun to do that. And then I got to take home some pumpkins that my mom had picked from her pumpkin patch. So I've got pumpkins now. And yeah, I've had a really good weekend so far. Also, I did manage to finish Truly, Madly, Magically. I finished listening to the audiobook on my drive to and from my mom's house today. And I think I'm gonna give this one a 3 stars. Like, I liked it. I liked all the witchiness of it, and like the magic is like very present in this book. And I think the plot overall was good. I just felt really disconnected from the plot and from the characters, because I know it says you can read it as a standalone, but I kind of disagree with it. Like, I feel like some of the stuff that they mentioned that had happened in previous books, like I really needed to have been there for those things in order for it to have the same kind of impact when they were mentioning it in this book. So I would say if you're gonna pick this one up, definitely still start with the first book and just read it like a series, because honestly it felt like how Sarah J Maas did the ACOTAR series, and then she did a spin-off book, It kind of felt like that, where it's like you really should read the original material first before moving on. And even though you're following different characters, like you still need that background information, you know? That's how this felt. But yeah, I didn't mind the characters. I just felt pretty disconnected from them, and like stuff they were mentioning like that happened to certain characters that is discussed in previous books and was like the plot of previous books was just like really brushed over, and I was just kind of like, I felt like I was grasping to try to like get a hold of what was going on. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, overall it was like, it was good, but I felt so disconnected that it was like, it hindered my enjoyment a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 3 stars for that one. So yeah, that is going to be it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. It felt very cozy to me. I had a lot of fun editing this one because I just had a really good time in this vlog. So I hope that you are also having a good time wherever you're at, whenever you're watching this, and that you're getting into the fall mood like I am. I'm really excited to put up like my decorations and go pick up more pumpkins, and Brandon and I are going to an apple orchard to pick apples, which I've never done before, so I'm really excited for that. So yeah, I'm just pumped that we're almost to autumn, even though the weather here is like not giving autumn. I'm ready for it. But anyways, thank you again so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.